What are the latest trends and happenings in the kitchens of LA's best restaurants? Find out next during the LA Food Scene panel from right here at the 2012 edition of The Taste.
All the flavors, all the spicy flavors, all the non-spicy flavors, all the cupcakes.
A nice selection of ice cream.
Very nice. I mean, any place where you can get, where it goes the gamut from Carvel to Bulgarini, then there's nothing left to say. But we're up here for an hour saying it anyway.
Saying, do you have a mic?
I do. The sing-ha mic.
About 3 or 4 days I start talking real loud.
Sing-ha Sweet Cherry. And I thought we'd talk today about the Los Angeles restaurant scene and how it's different from other restaurant scenes in the United States and in fact the world, and maybe why. The thing, what I've noticed most lately, what I think you've all noticed most lately in restaurants in LA in the last 3 or 4 years is the rise of, and dominance really, of a certain kind of restaurant. That we have in abundance and really, except for possibly Dave Chang's Momofuku Empire in New York, really almost doesn't exist outside of Los Angeles, which is the rise of the chefs who are exquisitely well trained in French kitchens and that, who have gone back to cooking some of the food that they were perhaps raised with, the flavors that sort of like bounce around in their skulls. And we have, a few of the good ones here today, Brian Ng, and of course we have, Sang, who cooked at Michael's, and what were some of the other restaurants you cooked at before you started Father's Office?
It's like the 1800s, late 1800s. Augustine Escoffier, of course, helped him write the first book. I worked at Joe Robuchon's first restaurant in Paris, Jamin, in the late 80s. So where did I go after that? I went to Louis Kahn. I worked at Hotel du Paris in Monaco for Alain Ducasse. And then after college, I worked for Wolfgang Puck for a few years. Chinois Las Vegas, Spago, Michael's, and then I decided to open a bar.
and make a burger. That I'm sure now you're regretting, totally.
It's the sandwich that erased my career.
There were a few years there where I think it was actually illegal to open a restaurant with an alcohol license in Los Angeles that did not have at least one version of your burger.
Yes, the old copycat syndrome. It continues, but it's flattering.
But it must be, and now people are on to ketchup leather.
That was ketchup leather.
Ketchup leather. You could look it
Not
up.
leather.
Where do you get ketchup leather?
Planchette.
I prefer ketchup vinyl.
You're very old school. It's hard to scratch on the leather.
Sounds chewy.
Maybe it melts into the burger.
The seats in my car are made of ketchup leather.
So I have this question for Sang. Sang is known for this burger sort of empire, but what a lot of people don't know is that Sang is just like this inveterate tinkerer. And so when you have a burger brew place that is as successful as Father's Office, and it's running along and you have great people to make sure that it runs along, where does your brain go next for intellectual culinary satisfaction?
Nowhere. Like every chef, I have not every chef, but I'm lucky enough to have a test kitchen. Literally a lab, a full commercial kitchen right across the parking lot from Father's Office on Helms. And it's sort of like a musician having his own recording studio. So it's where I can go and jam and write music and riff on things without having to worry about the commotion of service while you're open for business. So it gives me this place where I can be there any time of day, night, 3 in the morning, and just something pops in your head. No chef cooks at home. That's bullshit. That never happens. People always say, what are you cooking at home? The answer is nothing. So I have this place I go where I can retreat to and work with my chefs, also have chef friends come by and just toss ideas around, whether they're crazy or something that, you know, like I want to make a kimchi Bloody Maria. It's just whatever the inspiration strikes, I have a place to do it. So fortunate for that reason.
And what drew you back to Asian flavors after so many years cooking anything but Asian flavors?
I looked in the mirror and I realized I was still Asian. And I was like, wow. Yeah, no, it was a, you know, you make a good point. If as a chef you're always taught to cook French food. All the culinary schools are French based. They forever will be. But the
view as a person who lately has traveled on this extensive book tour is of this scene which is now called the LA food scene.
Here in Orange County, I've been the food editor there at the OC Weekly now for a decade. And Orange County, we're always going to be 5 years behind the trend. Like just last year, we finally got into donuts. Finally. Orange County is a place where cupcakes are still considered to be hip and cool and on the cutting edge. And so it's embarrassing. In many ways, it's embarrassing to be covering food in Orange County and knowing that right across in Mr. Gold's land, the chefs there are just leaps and bounds ahead of most of the rest of our chefs. That's not to say we don't have some great food going on in Orange County. So it's great to see LA just dominating and really being at ease with both its ethnic heritage and also just always expanding, always trying to be more modernistic. But what I've always taken solace in Orange County is that we do have, again, our breakthroughs. So Koji Barbecue, yes, it started here in Los Angeles, but Roy Choi is from Orange County. The guy who gave Koji the final push to start a Korean taco truck was a guy by the name of Dylan Ho, who writes a blog called Eat, Drink, and Be Merry. And his the inspiration for him to write about Korean tacos came from when he was at UC Irvine. So we have our little bits and pieces here. But I would honestly say that the best food that's happening in Orange County is in the hole in the walls, the ethnic scene. I've been doing, when I started being the food editor at the OC Weekly, I quickly got bored of it. I know, how could you ever get bored of reviewing restaurants anywhere? But the food at the higher level just wasn't up to par. That's why I started concentrating solely on hole-in-the-wall restaurants. I've been doing my column then, what do we call it? This Hole-in-the-Wall Life now for almost a decade, and that's still where I think is the best food happening in Orange County right now, which of course, I'm sure for those of you who never dared cross the orange curtain might come as a shock to you. Wait a minute, there's ethnic people in Orange County? It's no longer the land of Reagan and Nixon? Oh, absolutely. Orange County's been majority-minority since last decade. We have the best Vietnamese food in the world outside of Vietnam. We have one of the highest concentration of Middle Eastern restaurants or Middle Easterners in the United States, and then the Mexican tribe, which I'm a part of, we have more. In some ways, it's interesting to see, at least for me, to see what ethnic restaurants or what regional Mexican restaurants we have in Orange County, and which ones you guys in LA don't, because it's not one big, huge Mexican mess between LA and Orange County. We do have our distinct differences.
I was listening to, I guess, the competition, Lynn Rosetta Casper's show this weekend, and
I never hear it. I never hear it.
And true story. And Jane and Michael Stern, my former colleagues at Gourmet, were in Orange County, and they were talking about what they perceived, the fact that there were no whole